Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from the host, Imperial Dane. And I do apologise for the delay if this, of course, works. But the problem has basically been that for some reason the recording simply goes tits up and the frame rate drops in a catastrophic manner, which I simply cannot comprehend. I've gone with a system restore now in the hopes that it's just some sort of bizarre thing that happened, but otherwise I don't really know what to do if it persists. We shall nonetheless be having a 1 vs 1 on Langres. We shall be seeing YebiGun fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 2nd Armored Division. Opposing him shall be Paracaidistas of the Panzer Division. We are seeing some pioneers out, and we are seeing an eastern focus already there from the Wehrmacht, whereas the American is splitting up to sort of secure both sides of sort of the road. Again, the road being sort of the dividing mark on the map, the sort of thing that splits it up. So rather nice thing to little note there. We are seeing some riflemen on the way. I imagine there some Volksgrenadiers on the other hand on the way from the Wehrmacht quarters. The quarter to Wehrmacht. And already, yeah, Volksgrenadiers out first. Riflemen will be shortly after. Both pioneers worked on getting that thing up first. And we are seeing a swift movement towards the munitions. Could it be that Paracaidistas and the men of the Panzer are planning on something that involves a lot of munitions? At the same time, up there, and also note the riflemen are going for the cut-off point or the strategic point. I mean, that is not uncommon to see. Some players do basically use all the pioneers for the resource points, then use the riflemen to basically, or any other infantry to basically sort of follow up. And in particular with riflemen, they are one of the swiftest seizing units in the game. Captures pretty much any point the fastest, I think, largely until you get grenadiers or something like that. So I mean, that's a certain another advantage the riflemen actually have. In fact, he's also using it to take this high munitions point much faster than most other units would be able to this early into the game. Pioneers advancing. Bike out as the follow-up unit right there for the Panzer. Probably there to provide some reconnaissance, does of course help spot for the Volksgrenadiers, but of course also provide some light machine gun fire initially on, which again can give the Volksgrenadiers the early edge, as long as it's done properly. Jeep though coming a bit under fire, Volksgrenadiers moving in. Bit of damage right there to the Jeep, but nothing huge. Raven moving in, heading centrewards. Volksgrenadiers moving up, and there we go, also wiring off this area so the Americans can't move in so easily from the west. Bike, I think that's a bit of a reckless move, charging it in. I mean, the bike is less maneuverable and of course can't reverse, so it means a lot longer time to actually get the devil out of there. And already note, it is heavily damaged. Jeep pushes forward and in fact goes about pushing out the Volksgrenadiers out of the cover. Definitely to the advantage right there of YebiGun. Damaged engine on the bike. He needs some pioneers, but they don't really seem to be appearing. Volksgrenadiers firing away. Jeep down to half health, but nonetheless did not work out. MG42 on the way. Volksgrenadiers getting pushed about, and they are definitely not in good condition. They should retreat. Just retreat. Save the manpower. Save the men. Good lord. And down to 2 men. This is definitely turning out rather ugly early on for the Panzer. The men of the Panzer Division. Jeep getting repaired rather swiftly. The Willis Jeep, or rather a lovely utility vehicle, was used by, I believe, amongst others by the Soviets, although they were quick to make their own copy. I believe the Brits also might have used it. The Americans even made an up-armoured version with essentially some more armour to sort of make it slightly more bulletproof. The overall effectiveness is a bit unsure. They've getting suppressed down 1 man already, but we're quickly seeing another force using the road, which is left unwired to quickly flank the MG42, although a second squad of Volksgrenadiers are arriving, moving southwards. MG42 getting pushed back. Others moving up to reinforce. This is good. Pioneers apparently pushed back a bit there as well. And the pioneers are getting cut off, having dealt with the main Wehrmacht force. We also see riflemen popping into the building, of course, giving them some increased line of sight, giving them a better sight on the German positions, those damn krauts. And Jeeps are coming a bit on fire. Jeep moving in, MG42 setting up, and the Jeep is right in the middle of this. Taking a full... Come on, Helmut. Decide where you want to hit. The Fasterland depends on you. But we are seeing another squad, Volksgrenadiers, rifle moving in. Volksgrenadiers caught out in the open. Other squad ready to help, of course. MG42 repositioning, don't want to risk. Getting outflanked, we are seeing an engineer squad moving in. Does it have flamethrowers? Because that could be excellent. But I'm not sure. We will, of course, have to see. Engineer rifle moving up there. More engineers moving up. No flamethrowers. MG42 sets up. And we are seeing Pioneers moving in. We are seeing a sniper out, so it's a 2 Fultz Grenadier MG sniper start. One of the more common, certainly slightly risky, but also certainly powerful, because again, the snipers really can put on some pressure if you use them wisely. And of course, it can also sort of delay any sort of taking towards any armored cars in case the American commander decides, well, I want snipers too, you damn bastard. Though again, those are certainly mind games, and even then, if he doesn't, I mean, the sniper will still put on some mental pressure. Of course, the trouble is it's rather having a bit of difficulty covering flanks, and can certainly be quickly pushed off if you're not careful. That's sort of the main risk. It's something that can be reasonably easy to get pushed off. Bunker going up, sniper nearby, not really able to hit. MG taking losses, the MG, and we're seeing grenades! Ooh, close to even killing one of their own. Sniper gets off a nice shot. Jeep moving in. Medic bunker up. Nice to see a medic bunker upgrade. Also note placement behind a bit of Okage, make it a bit easier at the same time. Close to sort of the front line, and that's certainly easier in Langres, because again, the relative space between the bases means you can actually place a medic station or a medic bunker within your base, and usually can cover a large part of the map. So that's definitely an advantage right there for the good lads of the Wehrmacht. That's a Panzer. Well, of course, the Americans fight onwards most heroically, killing quite a few Krauts, pushing them off. The sniper advances. Gets off another shot. At the same time, Supplier going up for YebiGun. He might be going for the armored car. He's not going to bother with a counter sniper, feeling if he can keep up the pressure, that sniper won't be of much use again against an armored car. I mean, that sniper's not exactly armed with an anti-tank rifle. That was definitely not really how the Germans operated anyways. They were rather quick to drop the anti-tank rifle as a sort of weapon once they realized they had better stuff to use, like anti-tank guns later on, Panzerfaust, Panzerschreck. And we are seeing another sniper out. I have seen some players use this as a sort of a response to the grenade, because again, you basically want something then to drain him from a distance, meaning he can't really get close with his grenades without suffering heavily. And I've certainly also seen a few players complaining about it, but again, it's certainly one way of doing it. But of course, at the same time, it will manpower-wise put you back heavily, and of course, that's what we're seeing here. I mean, I'm not even sure if he's actually got the skirmish phase, but I mean, this could actually mean the armored car will have quite the advantage. So I mean, again, something to consider there. They're always responsive, but of course, responses also cost, and certainly a sniper is much more expensive than a grenade upgrade. Jeep moves in though. The Jeep is on the hunt. The MG42 tries to turn about. Sniper retreats. Another push by the rifle, and the MG42 is not in the right direction. Will it manage to make away? Pioneers, Volksguns retreating, and they're probably doing this to actually sort of provide protection for the sniper so he doesn't get killed when the Jeep moves in. At the same time, oh, MG42 not able to set up in time. In fact, they point it in the wrong direction. Grenade goes off. The mighty pineapple blows up a chunk of the earth. The Wehrmacht has been pushed back rather heavily, going for the cutoff point. We are seeing a bit of harassment right there by the Panzer troops. Jeep finally goes down, tried to escape, but did not escape the watch of the MG bunker. Die Widerstandsneste. Der Triumph. Something like that. Volksguns moving in. A medic kit or two might be an idea, and he's only now getting the skirmish phase. Oh dear, this could easily turn out to be what you'd call in English a problem. And there are no mines either. We do see the rifleman retreating, rather realizing that getting shot by a marksman is less than a hilarious experience. MG42 sitting up in the bushes and the shrubbery. And so far, Frapp seems functional. Please, oh, divine force that ever exists, don't fuck it up now. And there we go, going for the western point as well. Jolly good. Jolly good. I mean, he's aggressive, but again, I think he should be careful about, again, splitting up his false grenades again. They're neither of them are really in a good condition, so that's definitely another reason he probably shouldn't be splitting them up. I mean, if he's hoping to secure some territory, of course, great, but it's all the infantry he has. More specifically, it's all he has to really cover the flanks. Though apparently he's hoping to use the sniper to sort of react, and that's not an armoured car. That's a half-track. Why is he going for a half-track? That's novel, and certainly what you don't really see in a Panzer division, an armoured division, as opposed to sort of mechanise the infantry. I mean, the Americans really only sort of operated in terms of division with the infantry. I suppose they had a few mounted divisions, but otherwise armoured. They didn't really have something like, say, a mechanised division like the Germans. And the half-track gets the quarter upgrade and turns the sniper into a pincushion. Mush! Oh, 2 snipers down with a half-track! I mean, that's... Blimey! Bloody hell! I've never seen that done, I suppose. I mean, that was poorly retreated by Paracaidistas, but I suppose it's not really what you expect. Oh, that's just a half-track. Oh, that's just an anti-aircraft. Oh, that's my sniper's dead. No, König! Why did you have to die? Damn Americans, never thinking of the children. Anyways, things are turning a bit ugly right there. Medic's getting gunned down. The half-track, by dint of sheer I don't know what balls, I suppose, has managed to turn the fight around. There's a few marks there to deny cover. I mean, that's a trick. I mean, you don't quite see it fully, but I mean, it's still there. I mean, you can try, of course, to figure, well, my opponent might be trying to use that cover. Let's mine it so when he tries to use that cover, he gets blown to bits and pieces. And we're seeing more 3 half-tracks for the anti-aircraft guns. This is... And he's got armor. He's using it to take points. I mean, this is definitely some very cocky stuff. I mean, really. How often do you see them? Oh, damage engine on 1 half-track, pack up. And of course, this is a slight disadvantage of the half-tracks. They are thin, the armor. They are not meant to resist anti-tank gunfire. And certainly 3, I mean, 1 armor car I think would have done alright, but... Definitely, I mean, still, I mean, they can do a lot of damage. The problem was he was just sort of trying to use them like tanks, which isn't quite good. I mean, you should consider like a very weak support weapon that can do a lot of damage with the core. But still, I mean, that was quite fun to watch. And honestly, I'd rather miss than in fact he'd gone for them all 3 at the same time. First time I watched this. Let's go look at Mr. YebiGun. Oh, it's going to move into the next mine. Oh wait, that mine has been thin. Oh wait, it had. So that's just 2 mines, half-tracks gone. Other one flanking about. Oh, has to be careful. 1 Panzerfaust hit, and that's going to say good night, sweet prince. If it could, but apparently it actually managed to make a drive-by, killing a few Krauts, mowing them down, filling their bodies with quarter-mounted 50 caliber death. Yeah. Listen up, people. And a bit of quiet. Browning automatics on the way for the riflemen. I mean, after they just saw all of a bunch of their half-tracks going up in flames, I suppose they're calming down a bit. I do believe we are seeing some grenadiers out as well. Or was I mistaken? No, there we go, the grenadiers. Solid troops of the Panzerlehr advancing out into the open. Less solid idea, in particular once the BAR hit. That's definitely going to be a death sentence. But the Germans are definitely pushed back. They are suffering heavily. I mean, even the half-tracks, of course, were wrecked. I mean, he's really pushed back. He's barely got any points left. And certainly not an awful lot of units either. So that's definitely a bit of pressure. And there we go. The Browning automatics not only increasing defensive, but of course offensive power. Because that's the amazing things about light machine guns like the BAR. They do generally make units stronger on the offense and the defense. Popping into the barn again, opening up. It's called on the open. What is this? The Sturmhaubitze. Sturmhaubitze 42. Moves in, blasts away, blows out a part of the barn, and it absolutely does nothing otherwise. Yes, there's a huge gap in the barn, but that was about what happened. The riflemen are still suppressed. And that's definitely going to be a small grey strike there for Paracaidistas, the Panzerlehr. I mean, they were not prepared for this. He was really, concerned, oh right, I'll kill some Krauts, and then, Blitzkrieg Stu 42 comes to punish the American weakness in anti-tank assets. Sticky bombs still are on the way alongside anti-tank gun. So of course, the Panzerlehr troops have to be careful. The Stu 42 advances also have to be careful, of course, of, mines. Could be the Americans laid down mines, but so far, absolutely not a single bloody mine. He's got tons of munitions, but not a single mine. That's not good. The Wehrmacht slowly pushing forward, pack advancing, Stu 42 leading the way, German infantry following up, Volksgun is getting blasted again by the quarter-mounted 50 caliber. And the Soviets will be using this one. In fact, this was a Lend-Lease half-track, handed out to a lot of, the Commonwealth, but also the Soviets. The Soviets basically had this only as the really only armored half-track. Of course, the Germans also used quite a few because they captured them either from the British, the Americans, or the Soviets. Troops can now make sticky bombs. Stuhlfort. Oh! He had veterans before it, but the anti-tank gun got the kill. Sturmhaubitze is kaputt. They died. Well, not quite a hero's death. And now these pioneers might get turned to gristle. 5 kills. The pioneers went down in a hailstorm of 50 caliber fire, absolutely mutilating their poor bodies. And of course, question is, what will the response be? More grenadiers, more packs, more what? Or will it be another Sturmhaubitze in the hopes that the Sturm shall overcome the Americans? Trias Center going up, that's a good move. Supply upgrade would also be a good move. Medic station, also a good move. Then he is taking the central victory point, quickly trying to turn things around. Pack moving up, but the half-track is quickly pulling back. Has a bit of damage. And the anti-tank can just blast away at anything that looks even remotely German. Quick, shoot that one! Pfft, sacre bleu! Oh, that's a Frenchman. Does it matter? I suppose not. Fire! Anyways, MG42 stops arriving out in the open, and nicely done. All the Volksgunners do suffer 1 loss. Not to the anti-tank gun. Small. Bloody hell, he needs to be careful with those grenadiers. I mean, he actually hit a mine, but I mean, 1 man. He needs to retreat. He needs to reinforce. Bloody hell. And the medics this time actually managed to sort of pick some wounded up and pull them back. Hooray. Half-track repair once more. Securing this. Rifleman moving in. Catching the Volksgrenadiers. Gunning them down in cold blood. As cold as their blood will ever be, which is not really cold unless they're dead. Half-track though moves in, supporting. I mean, the half-track, you know, with the 50 cal with the Court Mounties, I mean, is a good support weapon. It can reinforce and can do a lot of damage to infantry. But I mean, again, it's not really going something that's going to win you the war against the German Panzerwaffe. Stuhlfort 2 blast away. Oh, nice hit. 2 riflemen dead. Pack a bit exposed. Flamethrower charge, absolutely an incendiary. Advance, rifle engineers getting gunned down by the MG42, but rifle moving up to hit the flank. Stu-42 though opens up in return. Grenadiers moving in, fresh grenadier. Did the other man make it out there alive? Yes, he did. Barely though, but he's alive. He's breathing. Although a bit laboured because he took a shot to the lung. Rifleman moving up, Stu-42 once more fires its nice shot. I mean, the Stu-42 is a bit of a thing, you know, a bit tricky. Sometimes it does a lot of damage, sometimes it might as well have been firing water balloons. But that sort of is the thing with it. I mean, otherwise, if it was too much, you know, to kill, it would very easily become what you call bloody stupid to fight against and very unpleasant. So of course it's sort of, you know, the balance acts that have to happen, you know, in the game to ensure it's fun for everyone. Including your opponent. Yes, I know. Who would have thought it had to be fun for your opponent, but there you go. Ram getting stopped by the MG42, though they could be within grenade range. And Ye is suffering a hit. Grenadiers up on the front. Volksgunners moving in. Pack having pulled rather further back, and looks like Paracaidistas and the Panzerlehr is making a rather solid push towards the western flank, hoping, of course, and this, of course, is a clever idea. I mean, the Americans are all in the east. If he moves westwards, that will force YebiGun to react. I mean, he has to draw in forces from here towards there, and of course, that's going to be some path. Otherwise, he's going to have to give that up, and again, that's going to mean the Germans will secure, of course, a lot of new territory. So, I mean, there's all these sorts, you know, strategic considerations to take into things, you know. Sometimes the best move is trying to attack somewhere else to sort of shift the axis of attacks. Say, basically, well, this isn't working. Let's try going here and hope the Americans don't react so quickly, or the Germans, the British, aliens, whatever. Or, of course, the feared League of Mother-in-Laws. But there we go. Nice flank on the MG42. Grenade does go off. Enemy unit down. Ow, that was the loss of the MG42. We are seeing a mortar out on the other hand now from Paracaidistas and the Panzerlehr. Volksgunners getting run off. Rifleman pushing in. And I do believe I've actually heard the Soviets will also get the Quad 50 upgrade. And of course, I mean, hopefully there will be some German aircrafts that can also work as an AA weapon. I mean, they can actually work, I believe, against the Henschel, but I mean, that's about it. Rifleman suffering a bit. Mortar advancing. Of course, the Germans did have the 120mm mortar as well. just like the Soviets, because in fact they had copied the Soviet design. But I think that would be a bit over the top again. First guys holding up their half-tank moving in, out of control, but Veterancy won. A bittersweet moment. Pack cleared out though. Pack opening up. Stu 42 rather close to getting hit. Mortar hammering away at the rifleman. And absolutely good self-job. Heading west push also made a nice dent into the forces of the Panzerlehr. Stu 42 though opens up in return. 11 kills, so that's nice. The Grenadiers are making a push. He actually has plenty of ammunition. I mean, he could consider, you know, getting a, I don't know, you know, Sturm Armory, Panzer Command, and also getting some LMGs for his Grenadiers to sort of help against the infantry. But at the same time, he knows his opponent has gone armor. So, I mean, at the same time, he might consider going for the Panzer Command so he could eventually be ready for, say, you know, something like a Pershing, although most Americans do tend to go for the Calliope first, which is not necessarily the most effective option. Mortar. Oh, heavy losses, the rifleman getting absolutely mutilated. Pack. Anti-tank recruit, of course, in German hands, it will of course be a Pack, because that's what they called AT guns. Pack, Panzerabwehrkanone, tank defense gun. Basically, when the second Stu 42 moves up, folks gonna suffer a bit. Still one man alive, one man to take the point, one man to be a hero. Stolz der Nation. Mortar might want to pull up a bit further to provide a bit more forward defense. Goliath on the way. One way to use all that munitions. I shall not go against it. Rifle push up on the right flank. Stu 42 opens up and does nothing. Heroically it misses, doing absolutely nothing in a dashing and inspiring manner. But though it actually managed to get one kill. Rifle moving up on the other flank, could get a sticky bomb. Grenadiers reformed, getting more infantry in fact for the Panzerlehr. Goliath ready. Grenadiers ready. Rifleman suffering a bit. Where's the Goliath? It's over there waiting in the crater. Very deft, very clever. Grenadiers and Stu 42 fighting against the Rifleman Veteran G1. Who shall be the victor? The Germans. And also here in the west, where two Grenadier squads rather convinced the Americans to realizing this is a bad idea. Want some wits when you lose? Well, the problem is when I lose for really bad reasons. And again, I don't think it's very fun. I mean, we all have our sort of, you know, foibles, things like that. And generally, I don't like showing my losses. I mean, yeah, I know it's... I mean, I can certainly see why it could be fun, but for some reason I just don't feel like it. Perhaps in the future when I get more confident in that department, but I mean, yeah, sorry. I mean, if I get a really good one, of course, really good loss, I'll actually show it, but until then, I wouldn't hold my breath for it. I mean, I'd hate to sort of get sued for someone because, oh no, you made him hold his breath, and he died. How could you? How could you, Dane? How could you? You stupid bastard. Tank destroyer though moving in. Grenadiers might risk getting flambéed. And now of course we've seen a nice response here from YebiGun. He's moved straight on to the next department. He's moved on to armor. And of course his opponent, of course the Paracaidistas, does have two anti-tank guns. And that's certainly nasty, but I mean their stability a bit to help, and of course it's going to help much more against the tank destroyers. And we're seeing a Sherman. So this is definitely evolving in a much more interesting way. Veterans G2 up for the armor, by the way, giving light machine guns and a health bonus for the Stu 42s. I mean, assault guns are some of the, well, armor that actually really benefits from Veteran G2, because they don't just get a machine gun, they gain a health bonus. The only units who really benefit the most from Veteran G2 and 3 are, well, the Tiger tank and the Ostwind. Because of Veteran G3, they actually gain something like the Ostwind gains an accuracy bonus. The Tiger gets harder to penetrate in terms of armor. Not the other sort of penetrate, you perverts. Panzerschreck up now, of course, to deal with the American armored threat. Anti-tank and a bit exposed. Veteran G up for his one for his vehicles. That's interesting. Stu 42 holds up against the rifleman. MG keeping the American foot at bay. Grenades on the right. Please, flaps. There we go. Back straight. Apparently all I need to do was do a system restore. Hooray for me. Stu 42 advances. And going to try and go for those riflemen, opening up with its MG. Shots bounce off the mighty hull of the Sturmhaubitze. This is actually a rather incorrect one. There was no one based on the Stug 4. They were all Stug 3 based. And in fact, we won't be seeing the Stug 42. It will be replaced by its elder brother, the Sturm Panzer 4, the Brumba, which was basically this concept taken even further with 100mm thick armor and 150mm infantry gun. That's basically something that's really going to blow stuff up. Mortar rounds keep falling, and the mortar's definitely doing its job. American armor pulling away. YebiGun is not too confident right to charge in. That's not necessarily a bad idea. He might want more, and again, had he gone infantry perhaps, he'd been able to also, call in artillery on the anti-tank guns, thus ensuring a much swifter advance. And in fact, something closer to a blitzkrieg advance, because that was rather sort of the thing about blitzkrieg. It was not just, charging in tanks. It was more about charging in at the weakest spot, using artillery and air support to really sort of knock out anything and really, charge in and then move faster than the opponent could react. I mean, that was the beauty of blitzkrieg. It was about speed and just delivering as much punch as you could at the weakest spot. Sherman, though, taking some nasty hits from the Panzerschreck, might want to consider getting out there. Anti-tank guns moving in. Retreat. Field repairs. Interesting, so he could in fact be going for the Pershing, but no, he goes for a Calliope. Apparently wants to play some music. Needs to pull it up. Again, the Calliope can be great. It can also be rubbish. I mean, I see a lot of players going for it, and I also see a lot of players never really achieving a lot with the Calliope. I mean, the Pershing in this case could actually do a bit more, I think, but I suppose that's a matter of taste. Grenadiers moving in. Dual Panzerschreck on one squad. I think that's a bit risky, and there we go. I mean, already 2 down, and he could have risked dropping a Panzerschreck. Allied war machine going up. Stu 42 gets a nice hit. Anti-tank is actually pulling away. He doesn't want to risk, knocking out and giving a free piece of armor to his opponent. Stu 42, though, ruins it all. God damn it, Heinz blows up the Sherman. But of course, now he needs to save his Stu. Volkswagen is getting blasted to bits. Raven moving up through here. Stu 42, though, hammering away, getting off some good kills, murdering with its machine gun and howitzer. Second tank destroyer gone. Of course, there'll be plenty of munitions here to salvage for Paracaidistas and the Panzerlehr. As the Raven moving up, pack crew are getting murdered. Another 10 up here to flank. Actually, this is a good move. A nice heavy flank going in for the mortar. Excellent, excellent. Calliope firing in, clearing out a pack as well. Mortar, though, escapes. Tiger now prepared, and we are seeing more armor ready. Calliope, of course, with 2 kills. Amazing. No, not really. Raven moving in to deal with those Grenadiers. Grenade goes off. Anti-tank gun hammers away. Desperately hoping to hit something. But of course never really managing, because it wasn't built to hit infantry, at least not without high explosive rounds. And yes, anti-tank guns did have high explosive rounds. They were sort of, also built for dealing with infantry threats. And of course fortified threats. So again, in some case, there was no other way of getting artillery. You could use the anti-tank guns. At least the Germans sort of operated out from that concept. And there we go. Sherman gets off a nice kill. Even the tank destroyer does, but the Sherman has also risked itself to anti-tank and fire rear armor hit. Sherman gets off another great hit on the Grenadiers. And there you go, getting forced away. Also, of course, in coming here is 2, we will be getting the Sturmgeschütz 3, the most common, in fact, the most produced armored fighting vehicle in the German army. And the most sexy. Oh wait, probably not, but still look pretty damn cool. Both Stus are in fact still operational. Calliope rolls forward, troops reinforcing. No real infantry losses, but engineers are in fact completely gone, meaning there's actually no one to really repair this. Another Calliope barrage. Getting the pack, getting the mortar, but not finishing off the job in either case. And the pack has now been recruited by the Americans, while the anti-tank is recruited by the Germans. No, the confusion. Not. More grenades moving in, more Panzerschrecks arriving. Sherman close to getting knocked out, Raven getting blasted to bits. Pack crew almost dead, and the Grenadiers got wiped out to a man. And there we go, retreating. Field repairs up. Poor Dane getting horse. Oh, hearse. Nah. Can't remember. Sherman that went down. No, that's the other Sherman. This one's moving in. Getting Plaza Buzz dudes, and it gets the mortar. And he's actually trying to avoid knocking out of it, but of course if he loses more, it's going to be a waste. Tiger though moves in, and there we go. Allied War Machine wears off. The Tiger rolls in, and Veteran to 3, of course. And this is again where something the Tiger really benefits. And I mean, generally, unless of course your opponent's heavy on bazookas, recall rifles, or sticky bombs or pierce, you only really get Veteran to 3 for a Tiger. And that's really it. Even with Usvins, it's, of course, the thing is debatable, unless of course he's got a lot of infantry, but again, he's also going to have a lot of sticky bombs.
We hold the initiative. At this rate, we'll be taking Berlin.
But in terms of armor, if you're facing a lot of armor, again, you only get Veteran to 3 for the Tiger if you can get that. Tank Destroyer taking a nice hit from the 88mm gun. Shots bounce off that thickly armored hull of the Tiger. Shot misses. And thankfully Flaps again restabilizes. Amazing. And there we go, pack crew gone. Stu 42 takes a few hits, but mostly dodges it. In fact, he's got now 2 Calipes with 4 kills combined. He's just spent, well, in fact, 1,300 manpower, and he's getting only 4 kills. Imagine what he could have done with armor or something else. This is just a waste of manpower again. Sometimes the Calliope works, but again, it can also just end up being a huge waste of manpower. Tank Destroyer actually managing a nice kill rate on infantry, but we are seeing the pesky Grenadiers moving up with their Raketenpanzerbüchse, firing away. They're not hitting. Tiger also on the spot, Stu 42 in support. And the Riflemen get absolutely torn to shreds. There's nothing left. Nothing to send back, even in a pine box. All they can do is sort of put in some dirt and hope, well, we think this is Johnny. Well, at least the Germans told us were, because we lost to them. Heroically. Anyways, pack firing away. Flaps now getting a bit silly. But stabilizing, please, stabilize. Volksgun is advancing. Volksgun is run off. Stu 42 ready to support at the front. Tiger as well. More Calliope fire. The ground is getting torn up, turned into a moon landscape. And more response fire from the Germans. Oh dear. Small movements in the west. Grenadiers quickly sent off though. Riflemen BR still proving to be very dangerous.
We're down to 200 points.
More shots in the Stu 42 Mark 1's consider pulling away so it doesn't get knocked out. Quite sure what's happening with Fraps though, sadly. And no, Dextoria won't solve the problem. I did try testing it and it suffered from the exact same issue. So it's something else than just Fraps, sadly. Right, ladies and gentlemen, back into the fight. I hope. Been doing my best to sort of try and figure out what's going on here. Ran a check disc and it froze at stage 5 a few times, but for now it looks stable all in all. There could be some bad spots on my hard drive. I fear though, of course, how I'll fix that, or perhaps I could just create a partition. I don't know. I'm not a huge technomancer. Nonetheless, the fighting proceeds. Panzerlehr pushes onwards. Calliope's bombarding them, trying to drown out the Germans in rockets. Though they might not actually succeed in their purpose. Again, the Calliope think, oh, grenade on the Grenadiers! Squad almost down! Die Zug ist zerstören! Bugger. But I mean, again, Calliopes can sort of be a nice weapon, but again, there's rather sort of specified nature. It does also mean there's a sort of, sometimes they're not the greatest weapon, and you can also usually end up seeing a Calliope doing pretty much bollocks. So I mean, there is something to consider there. And sometimes the question is, should the player not just, you know, go for infantry or airborne, something that sort of supports them more when they're strong, rather than hope for something that will be there when they're still perhaps not so strong. And again, perhaps a Pershing might then be the key. But of course, it's a different matter. All he's succeeding, in fact, is churning up the ground. And of course, that makes it a bit easier for the infantry advance, of course, because all of this will be light cover, which basically means this is going to mean that the infantry will be a bit harder to generally hit while they advance. So of course, there is something there to sort of keep in mind. And the Panzerlehr did actually have some Tigers attached to it. It was rare by the end of the war that divisions actually had their own Tiger company, and this wasn't even quite the case. It was basically just some radio-controlled tanks, in this case Tigers and a King Tiger, which they had attached, which basically did the trick. I'm not sure why they used Tiger tanks. It could partly, it's supposed to be a deception trick to sort of hide the Tigers, and I suppose also because they were thickly enough armor to sort of really get the most out of it. But the Germans did use sort of, you know, different things. They used Goliaths. They also used a really big one, sort of almost size of an armored car, basically filled with explosives. It was even driven forwards and then sort of radio controlled. But yeah, a bit of there. And again, Panzerlehr had a company of those attached to it. Otherwise, there were about, I think, 3 heavy Tiger battalions or detachments in Normandy, few SS and a regular one, the 503rd. Rather moving up, Veteran Z2, that is good. Pack also ready. 3 tank destroyers, of course, he's hoping to rush the Tiger, but of course, Veteran Z3 will provide some protection, in particular on the front, since again, they will have a much harder time penetrating that thick frontal armor. They're again charging right into this, might not be the most divinely inspired mission by the grace of the Fatherland. Stu 42 gets off a few nice hits. Stu 42 down, destroyed by the tank destroyers. Tiger forced to pull away simply too much, and we are seeing a well-executed flank on the right, and there's nothing to really slow it down. There's not enough infantry, no grenadiers with LMGs, no heavy machine guns. There's only a Stu with an MG, and that might not even be enough since the target is clearly the Tiger, allowing for the tank destroyers to rush in. And there we go, sticky bombs galore on the Tiger, and the rear is exposed. Damaged engine, it is trying to turn about, but with the damaged engine it's only going to be slower. German infantry moves in. Calliope's Volksgrenadier squad absolutely obliterated. 1 tank destroyer down. Field repairs up. I think he should have gone for a war machine. Might have been slightly more effectful. More sticky bombs on the Tiger, and there we go. Allied war machine up. Stu 42 moves in, tries to keep the infantry at bay, just like it was actually meant to do when supporting armor dealing with infantry. Another pack arrives. Panzerx gets another tank destroyer. Veteran G2 for the other one. The last one. The last Wolverine standing. Of course, getting caught by a pack and some Panzerschrecks. And drives right in front. Of course, he gets it replaced, but at what cost? He lost a Veteran G2 tank destroyer. I mean, that's actually quite a bit. I mean, that's lost penetration, lost speed. And it was actually a good health. It could have escaped. I mean, that was just a waste of tank destroyers. And that's actually a huge problem you see with, you know, Allied War Machine player users. A lot of them basically just use it as an excuse to throw away units. I mean, this is beyond Soviet. I mean, this is throwing away perfectly good veteran units simply because, oh, I can get one free. Yes, lose one, get one free. Brilliant! I should be an economist. And the trouble is, he might be the one that actually started the holy financial crisis because of that thinking. Stu 42 though, engine is on fire, the armored skirts are gone. Heinz is still gunning away though on the top, a bit exposed, so it's a bit windy. Stormtroopers are now arriving. Another tank destroyer arrives, Pack gets recruited. Tiger rolls in, Pioneers arrives. There's a ton of stuff to salvage for munitions. But clearly the Stoßtruppen, the elite of the Panzerlehr, the elite Lehrgrenadiers, what you call now, getting called in. Some other grenadiers though suffering a bit, getting blasted to paste. More stormtroopers, more dual Panzerschrecks, immer mehr Stoßtruppen, and they've been already on a raid, knocking out the Calipes, while, oh my goodness, Paracaidistas basically just went in with an infiltration assault, led probably by the stormtroopers, knocked out the Calipes, and oh my goodness, that was definitely clever. And again, what rather happens when you go a bit too heavy towards one side, and again, you know, slightly the awkwardness of Calipes and stormtroopers with Panzerschrecks. And again, what also happens when you don't mine off your flanks? I mean, you need to protect your flanks, otherwise some clever and yet fiendish German player will expose it, or vice versa, and a fiendish American player will expose your flank. I mean, this was a case of poor flank security, no barbed wire, no mines, and not even a single guy with, you know, terrible eyesight to even sort of slightly be able to look forward and go, wait, that's not a bush, that's a kraut. No, wait, no, that's a bush. No, that's a... No, wait, that's a French farmer. No, that's a kraut. Scheisse, he finally found us. Riflemen, though, are pushing onwards, trying to hunt down the mighty Tiger, but this one's not with a damaged engine. These grenadiers need to retreat. Even, I mean, he could have, you know, considered some anti-infantry weapons. Again, LMG, Sturmgewehr might work. Stormtroopers moving up, additional ones. In fact, he's quickly replacing his entire infantry with stormtroopers. In particular, all the Volksgrenadiers have now been replaced by the slightly less smelly stormtroopers. Tiger getting salvaged for munitions. Excellent. Sehr gut. Repair bunker is up. In fact, medic bunker went down. They told the climbers. I mean, that's something they did right. Well, when they were there, they're still. And another one's been called in, which again I do think is a bit silly. When he needs something to take on the Tiger, well, of course, a Pershing unupgraded with no veterancy will have trouble against a veterancy-free Tiger. It's still going to be better than a Calliope, and just charging in your rifle and veterancy-free. Grenade, geballte Ladung. No, that's assault grenades. Never mind. No assault rifles again. I do think those would have done well against the rifle. You know, the Sturmgewehr. Stormtroopers forced away. Panzerschrecks flying. Sticky bomb. What's wrong with that Tiger? Well, it's still alive. Or is that a crime? Eh, Paracaidistas? Is surviving treason in your army? I think not, because it's not your army, Dummkopf. And it was rising rifle moving in. An MG-42 on the way. He could call in more stormtroopers. Immer mehr Stoßinfanterie. But clearly the Americans lost all steam again. The armored doctrine, I mean, you have to be a bit careful. I mean, it was a nice sort of thing, but he ultimately wasn't really sort of really coalesced into a greater strategy and sort of ended up without steam and with Calliope, like a lot of American players who do go for it too, and then sort of go, oh, poo. Well, of course, his opponent is going, ah ha ha, silly Yankees. You need proper panzers and good numbers of them to stand against our German might. But yeah, there you go. Veterancy free for the infantry. Still no real anti-infantry upgrades. I suppose more infantry just the trick. Rather than going for that central victory point. Victory points draining out in general, though, for YebiGun. 2nd Armored Division has gotten blasted. Rifleman down, veterancy free. And there we go, veterancy free for the German infantry. Giving them a health bonus. And again, note, most Wehrmacht bonuses, veterancy bonus, are in fact just directed towards survival. Very few actually sort of get anything that help them kill the opponent. Rifling again getting blasted. Pioneers getting run off. The mortar has not been recruited. MG-42 carrying the point, and we are seeing a Grenadier squad moving up on the western flank, going for an harassment mission. And we are seeing the Panzerschreck group, a mixture of stormtroopers and grenadiers moving out. And of course the difference between stormtroopers and grenadiers, besides they can cloak, stormtroopers and get assault rifles and not LMGs, I mean, they're tougher than grenadiers. They are tougher, they have more health, and veterancy free in terms of raw health, they are the toughest unit in the game. Of course, Knights course generally, because of the damage reduction bonus receives, are tougher overall, but I mean stormtroopers themselves can be pretty bloody tough. There we go, the Pershing finally arriving. Stormtroopers got a bit close to the post, I imagine, and got countered with a nice Calliope barrage. Pershing moves in. Doesn't really hit. Crewman clearly has been drinking up his courage before arriving to the fight. Now the Tiger needs to intercede. The pack also opens up. Oh well. Definitely rather looks like GG right here for YebiGun. I mean, his forces have been drained. And again, 2 Calibers again. That's 1,300 manpower out the window, down the drain. And you're sort of going rather tearful, looking at all that manpower going out. A nice push. I mean, he's been able to keep most of his riflemen alive, but he still lost 1 squad at the very least. But otherwise, I mean, that's alright. Another assault to stop the advance of the riflemen. And oh my goodness, that was an excellent hit, and the assault basically finished it off. That was the veterans of 3 dead. That's the sort of thing that'll really get an American commander crying. Pershing advances right into all of the Patriottics and the Packs. That's generally bad for your health. Stormtroops going down a bit. Pershing out of control and does not threaten to crush any Germans. And there we go. Game over. YebiGun runs for the hills. He lost in the fight against the Panzerlehr. So there you go. Again, apologies for all the technical difficulties. I really apologize for the lateness. And again, I suspect it's something about a bad spot on the hard drive. At least that's my initial theory. It's not about defragmentation. It's something a bit bigger. Not sure what to do. I suppose I could create a partition to sort of lock it off if I can find the bad spot. And thus essentially keep it that way. But I'm not sure. I'll figure something out. But at least you'll get your daily episode no matter the cost. Except, of course, if it kills me. In which case, of course, there'll be an even bigger backlog if I die. That won't happen, but nonetheless, do hope you enjoyed this, do hope you learned. Of course, the question here was again something about Calipes. Not enough to keep the fight going in the long run. You're like, say, a medic station, and probably not enough supply up. In fact, no supply upgrades. That's a huge sin. But again, perhaps a bit more Sherman soldier and, you know, mines. You really needed mines. And again, I think another doctrine. But there you go. Do hope you enjoyed. Cheers.